Thank you very much for the possibility to present one of the projects in the Swedish Agency for Work Environment Expertise. I will talk a little bit about a project that I haven't been involved in doing the analysis, but I have been managing the project, and so I'm very familiar with it. It's called the Culture of Silence at Work. And it's quite a challenge to work in this project because the reason is that there are a lack of real knowledge. But I will tell you what we have been doing. First, I will say some few words about the organization and then a little bit about the background of the project. And I will not talk so much about the methods, but I will just mention it, and you can read it in the reports then. And there are 3 different reports. And also I will give you some idea of the conclusion of the project and the different reports. This is a beautiful picture of our agency, Swedish Agency for Work Environment Expertise. We have been since 2018. We are very young, and we have our office in the lower north part of Sweden. We are 25 employees, but we are all together about 130 people working because we are working with the researchers at the university. We are a bit of a network institute. We have our own money, 50 million Swedish crowns. And our mission is to be the National Knowledge Center for Work and Environment Issues. And we compile and disseminate research. And we also do our own analysis, research. And we also take part in different kind of network, like PEROSH. But already this new year, the agency will be merged with an old other agency in Sweden called Swedish Work Environment Authority. And the group of researchers and analysts in SAWEE will be the new R&D unit in that agency. That agency is focusing on inspections and regulations in work environment. So, the project. I will just show you a quick picture of all those involved in the project in Sweden. It's me and my colleague, and we are managing and working with communication in this project. And then to our help, we have a team of researchers from Gothenburg University. Lotta Delve is the main investigator, and she has been involving Michael Noll from Leipzig University. And the reason is that in Sweden we have a lack of knowledge how to continue to work with culture of silence at work. And there are other younger researchers also involved in the work. So a little bit about the background. A lot of interest has been in the media. For example, have the Swedish trade unions conducted their surveys, but they are very focused on their own professions. So they have been asking us and others for more knowledge. Even employers, especially in public sector, also have started to create tools how to handle culture of silence, but they are also asking for more knowledge. And the research in Sweden are very few, and they are focusing on specific parts, and I will show you a little bit about that. So there is a need of a comprehensive concept for culture of silence. What is it? Why will it appear? And how can you measure it? That is what we will do in this have been done in this project. Yes. And of course, we also have a very great interest in trying to present our results in such a way that it's possible for other organizations that are working very closely to companies and other organizations to use it. So that is also something we are working with now. And we have a lot of different kind of ways to present our knowledge, and we will use almost every of these in every project, but we will especially have reports in this one, Swedish and English. We will make a seminar, and we will also make a small film. And this film, we have decided last week that it will be both a short film in Swedish and in English. And we will end it with a seminar together with an umbrella organization working with tools how to help to improve the work environment. And this organization is focusing on public sector. And this will also be their starting point in actually trying to, in a broader way, work with this kind of problematic situations. So, I will tell you a little bit about all the three reports. The first one is a literature review, and it's mostly validated research articles, and it might be some chapters also. And the working title, but soon it's the title, A Culture of Silence at Work, Integrating and Advancing the Knowledge. So it's a little bit in the front when it comes to reviews. It's not only compiling the knowledge, it's also developing the knowledge. It's a new way to work with literature reviews. The focus has been very much on silence, those who are withholding information that you actually know you need in the work. This has been both in Europe, but specifically in Sweden. So we haven't have a broader perspective. So this is what this literature review will help us with. It will make the perspective broader. So it's including the censoring of opinions. And it will also include deafness to voice, and that is mostly the management level that don't listen to suggestions. Can also be others that are responsible for different kind of decisions in an organization. And these three together are what we called the triangle of silence in a collective. And since we have so many elements and aspects included in this, we call it a systemic approach. Not a systematic, but a broad, comprehensive approach. But it's not so easy that you can say this is simply these kind of elements. It's also, you need to know more about the organization. So we have borrowed theories from the organizational theory, what is of importance to include when we want to define culture of silence. And there are several levels. And the first level is summarized as artifacts. It's those things that you can feel and sense and easily measure, but maybe not always so easy to understand. And then we want to go deeper, so we also would like to know more about norms and values. And the third layer that is very often not visible at all, it's what we take for granted. But this doesn't explain why a culture of silence appears. The theory concerning organizational changes says that it is when we handle external things happening, for example, in the market or in other external effects, and we want to integrate it internally, then you can learn those in the organization how to handle it. And if you learn, for example, that you should never talk about the problems, then you have started a culture of silence. So when we are measuring now, we are measuring those three elements: silence, deafness, censure, and we also try to make these measurements in these three layers. In these first three reports, we haven't so much been able to study the changes, the learning process. That will be something that the research group will continue with next year. So the strength of this review is that it's actually developing and have been able to develop a new concept of silence at work, and it will include both individual and organizational perspectives. It's based on research on health science, but also social science and organizational development, and it will be possible to have and see multiple theoretical perspectives in this work. The second report we are doing are using the information from the first report and actually trying to measure everything but the changing part in the working life. And the purpose is to both study the prevalence of both silence, the simple measure, and silence of culture, the more complicated measure, in different sectors and in different diverse groups of the working people. But it will also try to relate this knowledge that we call the triangle of silence to this complexity of different layers of the organizational structure. I will just very quickly show you that it's a very broad survey we have used. We have created it ourselves, and it's going to employees, but it's stratified. It's stratified according to industries, and it's stratified according to industries that we know a bit about since we have been using information according to them in other analyses. And we have a response rate that is fair enough, 30%, and we have checked. It's more than 7,000 employees included in this survey. And we have also checked how well they will represent the working life in Sweden, both concerning type of organizations and also concerning those who are working in them. And we have a very good fit. And we do a little kind of simple analysis like mean values, some correlations, but also some regressions. So in focus is this triangle. And we have some information about only silence. And I will just quickly say how we are defining it. It's if there have been a problematic situation and if this problematic situation has been handling with silence. And we have made a binary variable according to this. And 30% of all the respondents answered, yes, we have had this situation. And then we are measuring this censorship, and we also have one question that we use for that, and that is if it has occurred. And there is a scale from not at all to yes, it's occurring. And I think 23% answered yes, this has happened last year in Sweden in general. And also deafness to voice, and that is also one question. And it's about if you as an employee have the opinion that there are deafness in the organization. And it's also a scale from not true to completely true. And this is the highest rate, 41% said, yes, this is the case in Sweden. And in the study, we have both single out silence withholding, and we have looking into this triangle. And then we have made an index, and this index is chosen to be showing the result for the top quartiles of all these three groups. So the summary of the results in this second study is that individual factors can actually give us indications about if there are both silence and silence of culture. And these are, for example, younger employees, lower educated, those with disabilities, foreign background, but they will not explain why it happens. You can also see that there are higher levels in certain industries, and 2 of them are singled out: hotel and restaurants and private services. But if you aggregate all the data to sectors, you can see that it's not the private sector, it's the public sector that is standing out, and especially in female-dominated jobs. And we can also see we have a very high indication of that the workplace organization is the terminators of silence of culture. For example, if there are not existing regular workplace meeting, if there is not an open climate, if there is not present and listening managers, if there is a centralization, lack of opportunities for the influence, and if you individualize the problems. So the strength of this survey has been that it's the first time in Sweden that you actually can say something where you measure all different kind of industries, sectors, but also have a diversity of employees in the survey. And you can also go to subgroups and specifically study these subgroups. And we can also say that we have tested and further developed the reviews new concept of culture of silence. So, and just to say something very short about the third study, it's using the data from the Swedish second study, and it's combining it with data from an ongoing international survey studying 32 countries, but we are only including Sweden and 17 other countries, and we are grouping them according to industrial relations. Sweden is comparing to other Scandinavian countries, Anglo-Saxon countries, European continent, South Europe, and East Europe. And you can also, you will have information in this benchmarking about industry age, gender, migration, contract type, how many employees you have as a manager, and the experience tenure, if it's high or low. Thank you.
Thank you very much.